Ooh. Evening, peeps. Yeah, bit of a uh, um, yeah. I wasn't expecting clocks to have changed in Americana land yet. Don't think it's not till the end of March they change over here. So I wasn't expecting these things to happen. So yes, a little bit early today. A little bit of a panic to get set up and sorted. So laptop's not quite level. Just about dressed. Mary's literally just left. So, and relax. So, first up we have Anthony's Fishy Friends. Hello, Anthony. Then we have Nathan, Sand Creek Aquatics even Nathan, Mandy's and Ginger. Yes, afternoon, evening, morning, whichever it is for you. How are you, Dee, my lovely? How are you, Jessica? Too. Hello, hello. Alice, always trouble. I am streaming now, Alice, because the clocks have changed in America, and all the hours changed, and there would have been a big gap between Dee. Well, there would have been an hour gap between me and Dee, so Dee ran a bit long. I emergency started up early, but here we are. I know, Alice, it's these strange people over the other side of the Atlantic. Tater salad. Hi, Dennis. How you doing, my friend? Sweet Dean, sweet tea. Oh, heck. It helped if I could see. My glasses are filthy. It really is a lot easier to read things when you can actually see. And yes, I have shut my eyes because otherwise they do weird things when they're open and my glasses aren't on. And that's just smeared whatever that was all over the lens. Never mind. Yeah, sweet Teresa. Yes. The little cookie monster. So, how is everyone on this fine Sunday? Um, yeah, coffee. Yeah, Red Bull. Yeah, nicotine. Yes. Um, lighter that works, preferably. Back in 30 seconds. All right, new lighter. That might help. I do that all the time. I'll be sat there, I won't realise that my glasses are covered in dust or muck or whatever, and you think, yeah, it's a bit dark, or you know, or is there a load of dust in the sky? Oh no, it's just my glasses are filthy. Yes, morning or afternoon, evening, Chewy. Yeah, 6 shots of espresso. That might just kickstart Pam in the morning. Maybe. Might get the first beat of the heart going anyway. Yep, no worries. Thanks for popping in, Recon. Good to see you, bud. Um, yeah, I've thought about laser eye surgery, but to be honest, it's just a lot less hassle to just stick glasses on in the morning and take them off at night, and clean them every so often. You know, I've been wearing glasses since I was 8, so it feels weird without them on. Yeah, Aussie's got it right. G'day works any time of day. They don't do good night, do they? So they say good day as a goodbye as well, which is. And yes, still no sponsorship. But we're on Red Bull today rather than Monster. Simply because they didn't have any of the large cans of Monster in the shop this morning. Sean! Can't say pick up more 40 breeders. Goes through. Yep, set up a shelter on a tank. Drive safe, Sean, and enjoy your new tanks. Oh, Chewy, are you talking the Chester Zoo in the UK? It's been a long while since I went there. Probably about 38 years since I last went to Chester Zoo. We have a group of people here. So, what's been going on in Sharpie's fish room this week? Oh no, cold coffee. Just don't leave the pan on too long, Pam. You know what happens then. So what's been going on? Lavec, the Sharpie's fish room. Or Lavec doesn't really work. Yeah, you can tell I'm kind of literally woke up about 20 minutes ago. So type the group. Yeah, good here. Rightio. That makes sense then, Chewy. Hey Big J, how you doing, bud? So what's been happening? First of all, JC and B, the two African giant wood shrimp, are settling in well. I found a molt the other day, which is kind of considerable size. Hey Dan, how you doing? Hope all well with you. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, so the two Achigabanensis, vampire shrimp, giant African wood shrimp, whatever you want to call them, they're doing well in there. Not that I ever see them really, but you know. From this tank here, we have moved the two rams over into the Pleco farm, 15 gallon, the flex. So hopefully, yeah. Oh, pardon me. My thinking is bigger tank, change of tank. They might start breeding in there. You never know. Worth a try. Hey, Vinoksky tanks. Try and get that pronounced roughly correctly. So there is now just the 4 little celestial pearl danios in there and the Nerite snails. The yeah, it just sticks to the specs. It's like once you've been wearing them decades, it's just not not any. It's not exactly difficult to wake up in the morning and go, job done. And then when you go to bed at night, turn the light off and reverse the process. Really not that difficult. Yeah, so move the rams. The baby plecos are all in the tub down here, which I've switched out for the 10 gallon tub. And I did do a recount. I've got, well, from what I could see, which, plecos, seeing them all is a bit tricky. I counted, I think there was 170. Help. But in good news, the crib GVs that spawned in the other grow out tub, they either ate their eggs or they hatched and got eaten by the other cribs that are in there. Hi Aquarium Cop, thank you very much. Cook away, my friend, cook away. And Poseidon's Pets, hello. Mornings are too crazy to try and poke myself. Yeah, exactly. Just job done. At the very worst, just give them a quick wipe on your t-shirt. Thank you very much, Dennis. Take a salad for sharing out. Just see if we can get any more people turn up. Um, what else has happened? They and the epistogrammas, Robert and Roberta, they had babies as well. There were only two, and I haven't seen them for a couple of days now, so I'm pretty sure they've either been munched or, probably been munched. But as we pretty much all know, most cichlids, first spawn or two, they don't quite get things right. Um, but Nathan, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. It's although, given that you do have some health issues, if I was you, I would be a little more concerned about it. I'm about as worried about coronavirus as I am about walking through town to get to the bus tomorrow. And I think someone did the maths, and you're more likely to win the lottery than you are to die of coronavirus. But well, quite why people been panic buying toilet roll, I just can't get my head around it. I mean, how much toilet roll do you go through when you got a runny nose for a week? Huh? And then buying all the antibacterial hand wash. Must have antibacterial hand wash. It's a frigging virus. Antibacterial ain't going to do anything. Anyway, minor rant over. Good evening, Sandra. How the devil are you? Oh yeah, I mean, they both could kill you. I think coronavirus does have a slightly higher mortality rate to it, but we're talking people who are elderly, already got existing health problems, breathing problems, lung diseases, that kind of thing. If you to 95% of us, it's probably just going to be a minor dose of flu if we do get it. Yeah. Yeah, it's a whole lot of panic about nothing, really. No, there are people, probably more people die on the toilet every year, Uh, yeah, bananas, toilet pain. I understand. I mean, that's the one thing people haven't panic bought here. All the painkillers, the paracetamol, the ibuprofen, the flu meds that you can buy over the counter, they aren't buying, but they're buying the toilet paper. Huh? Yeah, antibacterial. So yeah, why antibacterial is not going to touch a virus? It's, just good old-fashioned soap and water will do just as good a job at that. Good to have you aboard, James. Fisher and Fever. Yep, both. I say both the supermarkets in Attleborough. Howdy Dank. Um, have had panic buying. They're sold out of loads of stuff. But so why? It's as bad as if it's going to snow. Yeah, well, yeah. There's a difference between panic buying and being a prepper, James. It's as long as I can get out and get tobacco, Coke, crisps, energy drinks. Yeah, I'm sorted. And Zach treats because I've got to have treats for Zach. Can't have him upset or grumpy. Lysol kills. Yeah. Yeah, it's just dumb. I mean, there were people stealing the masks from hospitals because they think that wearing a mask is going to protect them. Now, you're going to get it by when you take the mask off and you go or eat something with your hand, not from breathing. Sort of revising free. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Yeah, there's been all sorts of random balls about quarantining yourself and quarantining people, and it's just, yeah, Pam. I mean, no offense, sweetie, but you try and stay away from people at the best of times. Just do exactly the same as you would normally do in flu season or cold season. Oh, blackbird. Um, yeah, exactly. It'll stop you. So basically, anyone who's wearing a mask, you should treat them as a carrier. There you go, Mandy. I mean, it's just really, why people? Why panic? It's just the media are driving it. The same way that over here, when we're going to get, say, Daniel will know about this. So I've learned to eat algae. Yeah, in that case, Dan, you're definitely going to need the extra toilet roll. If you're eating algae wafers, you've seen what happens to a pleco. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't carry enough food for 2 weeks anyway. Even if I did have it, because I've had flu in the past, proper flu, not just a bad cold, which a lot of people mistake a bad cold for flu when it isn't. Oh, pardon me. And yeah, I've had to go out and buy shopping because I've run out of stuff at home, either food or like paracetamol or whichever the American equivalent would be, Tylenol that you take for a headache. Um, yeah, just just avoid people. It's easier. Says the guy who's got to go into Norwich tomorrow to go to a group session at the job centre. Then got to go up on Wednesday for a jobs fair, and probably going to have a job interview at some point again, all using public transport. Say 6 feet. I'd get within 6 feet, Pam. I'd have to give you a hug. Yeah, government's job to undersell it, the media's job to blow it out of proportion. Yeah, Mr. Kalos Aquatics himself. There was a saying, like, if in the UK, if there's going to be snow, right, it could be an inch, right? Although they wouldn't say that, and they wouldn't say they were forecasting 2.5 centimeters of snow, they'd say they were forecasting 25 millimeters of snow because it sounds more. Then people panic and rush out to buy bread and milk and stuff. And even 2 years ago, when we had the big storm, the beast from the east, as they called it, where we had about 14 inches of snow, nowhere was shut. Well, none of the big stores were shut. Okay, deliveries were a bit late, and maybe not everything got there, and maybe not all the staff were there. Because living in a rural area like this, if someone lives up the end of a single track road, with a long driveway, it doesn't get gritted, salted, ploughed, anything like that. So yeah, people do get stuck in. But if you live in a house like that, that's going to happen. common sense would say that you'd be prepared for it. But that's just no. Welcome aboard Yama 3.0. Thank you very much. Hey Kenny, how you doing, my friend? Danny Ken Aquatics. Yeah, we're just having a bit of a waffle and rant about panic buying of things because apparently there's a bit of flu going around. So, you know, man. Yeah, it's all they're doing is the media is spreading panic when what they should be doing is going, no, calm down. This is no worse than bird flu or swine flu or any of the other variants that have been coming around every other year for the last probably 50 years. Don't panic. Same thing will happen. I mean, can you imagine if something actually dangerous escaped or got released? You know, what would happen if smallpox got out or bubonic plague? Because there are still samples of that being kept alive to study. So they're just lurking, setting up more tanks. Yeah, that will probably happen. You'll probably accidentally come home with more fish than you were expecting to buy. Yeah. You get an earthquake, no one panics, get a virus, and everyone goes, the world is ending. Yeah, I mean, exactly. No, it's made in China, don't buy it. Really, it's taken about 3 months to get here on a boat. If it's had any moisture on it, it's been salt water, which will kill it. Oh, and the viruses can't survive that long out of the host. Yeah. I still say the best way to beat coronavirus is with a slice of lime in it. Now, if they find out that something in lime does actually kill it, yeah, they're all over. Yes, it's nothing new. They're either hiding something they don't want us to hear about or panic about that's actually kind of important, or there's just actually not really any news and they're just making it up. Well, not making up. There's not really anything worth reporting, so we got to have something to panic about on 24 hours. Earthquakes in Scotland, yeah. Well, if you look at the landscape, Dan, Scotland is A, very volcanic, and B, has had a lot of earthquakes in the past, historically, geologically, historically, but yeah, Mexico can't sell Corona beer because of the coronavirus. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not one for conspiracy. It's not really me being a conspiracy theorist, more just being an old cynic. I mean, there was one day, I forget exactly when it was, it's probably in the 40s or 50s or something, when the BBC News one night did consist of the guy standing there in his suit and his tie. And today there is no news. Nothing worthwhile mentioning on the news happened. No. Yeah, Taco Bell. I think that's not really a virus, Michael. I think that's more of a how can I put it, a stomach bug. It's more of a 24-hour thing. Hi Amano, how you doing? Yeah, so As I say, it's been announced in Memphis and Nashville and what have you. There's not actually any confirmed cases around here. There aren't any cases of it in the county. I don't even think there's any in the next county. So why people are panicking? Yeah. No. Government plan to quote. The last thing governments want is for all of us to stay at home, not spending money or making money, and then crashing the economy. Yeah, that really doesn't work out to me. Hey Steve, how you doing? It's, why don't they just call it, a bit worse than flu virus. Fifth case in Auckland, 2 hours north. I say 2 hours away. I mean, it's going to take a while to get to you, Teresa. I mean, I know people travel a lot more these days, but it's, we have to have bleach for shelter protocols. Rated the dollar store. Yeah, I'll say people that need the products for certain reasons. Like Bob with the rescue shelter. You need it, but then you can't get it because some idiot has gone out and bought 4 gallons of bleach because they might flu virus. Nah, makes no sense at all. Yeah, 1987 October, Dan. I remember that one well. We had the news guy going, I can categorically state there will be no hurricane. And the next day, was something like 250,000 trees were flattened. Although I watched a documentary about that one, Dan, and he was actually, the quote, it's actually misquoted as well. Because it was someone had asked him, because they were going to the Caribbean somewhere, and they were expecting a hurricane there, and they were worried because they were going out for a wedding. And they asked, is the hurricane going to happen? And he was actually talking about them. He was saying, no, don't worry, there isn't going to be a hurricane tomorrow. And then, yeah. And the reason we didn't know about it is because it fired up out at sea, somewhere off the coast of Spain, I believe. And we didn't know how bad it was because it used to be the ships that would radio in and report the storms. People out fishing or whatever would radio in and report, there's a storm, blah, 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 heading in whichever direction. But they all got out of the way of it. And it was that bad that I think it messed up the radio communication or something. So all they didn't report it. They just like saw it and stayed in. So we got no early warning of it. It was like midnight and it just hit the south of England. It just wiped everything out overnight. You wake up in the morning and go, why are all trees on the floor? Yeah, I remember trying to walk to school that day. That was fun. Yeah, parvovirus. Yes. Yeah, I'll say the other conspiracy theory is that it was leaked or escaped, so that China could cull some of their poorer citizens. Let's put it that way. Now the ones who couldn't get to the health centres or whatever, live out in the country, get rid of a few of them. As the other one I heard, which again, it wouldn't actually surprise me. Yeah, they fish coops. I wouldn't buy new stock from any shops. Fish come walk from Taiwan. It all depends on the shop you're buying from, Amano Shrimp. There's a lot of places actually come in now from, rather than like directly over from the middle of the Far East. A lot of the stock in the UK comes from Germany, or it comes from UK-based breeders, simply because it's cheaper. Because we can't don't have to pay as much shipping that way. Oh dear. Volunteer? What is that word? Volunteer. And is that when you do stuff and you don't get paid for it? Because I've never been a fan of doing that. If I'm doing something, I'm getting paid for it. Let me just stick the kitchen light on because it's getting a bit dark. Whether it makes any difference, I don't know. Not that you want to see me in any higher depth or better detail. I love it. Trying to think, have I ever done any voluntary work? Done plenty of involuntary work. I mean, I've done work where you don't necessarily get money, but you get goods in exchange for your service. I know in Amano's case, no, I've never done community service either. Never even been arrested, surprisingly. So I know in your case it means you get more tanks to breed your shrimp in, and somewhere for you to sell your shrimp on, which end of the day you probably get a few squid for, but yeah. So I have absolutely no idea the clocks were changing over there, Bob. If I'd known, I might have thought about it. Besides this, live in Arizona, no change. Yeah. We got at least 2 or 3 weeks, I think, before ours spring forward. Russell, one local shop did a promo buy 2. Yeah, it's. Shrimp, let's go to the shop. Exactly. So it works out for both of you. I mean, it's kind of mutually beneficial. That's fine, but doing stuff for absolutely nothing, nope, not happening. I don't know if other fish might have. Pass. I didn't because the correct time hasn't changed. It's just the people who put weird random times that bear nothing in relation to real time. Yeah. Perhaps that might help. Perhaps if I did go and do some volunteer work, it might look good on the CV. But I think the way it works is if I were to go and do volunteer work, then I wouldn't get paid for that. And I'd still have to go and sign on, but I would get my money cut. So, yeah, no. No, I was actually half hour early, Chewy. I'm not behind. I was half hour early. Remember, GMT is the correct time. The time from which all other time zones are measured. And I really don't see the point in clocks going forwards and backwards anywhere. They use the argument about, well, it's so the children don't have to go home in the dark from school. And yeah, but Bob, you're that kind of person. You're just a really nice guy. Some of us aren't. Yeah, their clocks have all got corona done. That's what it is. It's not affected the British clocks, and never will. Well, that's something I heard the other day. Is we get a world map in the UK. It's printed with the UK in the centre of the map. America's off to the left, Asia off to the right. But apparently, if you buy a world map that's printed in different parts of the world, then that part of the world will be in the middle. So if, say, you bought a world map in China, China would be in the middle of the map. America probably wouldn't be on it. It'd probably just be a map of China. Yeah, DWP, as people might not know, the Department for Work and Pensions. Yeah, they make it hard for people to do the right thing. Now, would I happily do a part-time job that didn't necessarily pay me enough if I could get a top-up? Yes. Would I get a top-up? No. Yeah, but then they expect you to take any job within 90 minutes travel time. I'm sorry, I'm not traveling an hour and a half to work and an hour and a half back from work every day for minimum wage. That's just wrong. Anyone who travels that far to work needs to change jobs. They're obviously working in the wrong place. If people worked closer to home, then you'd get a lot less problems. Yeah, exactly, Dan. No, it's one of those things where if I could go and do something, volunteer at an animal shelter or help out in a fish shop that can't necessarily afford another employee but kind of needs one, or just a random pet shop type place that sells fish as well, or anything like that. If I could do that and get money from the government for doing it because it's helping everyone overall and I'm keeping myself employed and occupied, I could then look for a different job. Yeah, we do all owe something back, Bob. Thing is, I pay my taxes, and other than this is the second time in my life I've claimed unemployment. The first time was for 3 months. This time has been somewhat longer. But I've been working full time and paying into the system since I was 18. And no, I've not used the school system, so I've not taken money out from that. Don't use the police. Rarely go to the doctors. I don't normally get taken to the hospital. And then I do things. I definitely paid my way into the system. Yeah, it's done Cub Scouts for years. It makes me sick if I lost my job and have to give that up too. Yeah, that's a perfect example. Cub Scouts is a great thing. Something I think all children should go to. You learn, beavers, cubs, and scouts, or brownies and guides, or whatever the other one is. Is it still scouts? Can't remember. But yeah, any of those kind of associations, they're great for kids to go to. You learn things that you don't learn in school. You make new friends. You learn social skills. You learn all these things. Yet you have to do it for nothing. And if your circumstances change, you have to quit doing it because you can't afford to do it. Because your hours might change, and then you can't go. But yeah, I think the furthest I've travelled for work would be 9 miles. And that was only when they changed the rules, so I couldn't cycle on the main road when it became a dual carriageway. Otherwise, it would have been 4 miles. Yeah. See you later, Poseidon. Don't work too hard. That's like, yeah, I've worked full time basically all my life, and you get made to feel like scum because you left your job. Well, I say cutting wood. Yeah, I'm going to call you a lumberjack because either that or, well, in Ireland that would make you a tree fella, but there's only one of you. Yeah, that something like that. You go to where the work is, but for the majority of us, people who work in a shop or work in an office, there are shops. So why don't the people in Norwich get a job in Norwich and the people in Attleborough stay working in Attleborough? And that'll save a whole lot of problems with congestion and the amount of money it costs you to get to and from work every day and time. Yeah, it's just not worth the hassle. If I got a job in Norwich, which probably the likeliest place, it's going to take me at least an hour a day to get there, and it's a £5 bus trip there and back. So if you're doing the job, you got to have enough hours and enough pay to actually make it worth going to pay for the bus trip alone. Someone who used to live over the road from me when she was younger, just left school. She was working for Next Clothes Company, and she was on school leavers wage, which is absurdly low, and her contract was basically, you come in when we want you in. And sometimes they would call her in for a 2-hour shift. She was earning, I think she said something like £1.35 an hour. But she would have to go to Norwich on the bus to go to work. So she was going to work, and it was costing her more for the bus ticket than she was earning. But I would have just told them to sod off. Like, no, I can't do 2 hours. You got to give me at least 5 hours, because otherwise I'm not going to make any money from this. It's not right, but the rules get made and the companies take advantage. Same with the apprenticeship schemes, is the amount of people that go do an apprenticeship and then gets to the end of the apprenticeship expecting to get a full paid job afterwards, get told, no, sorry, we don't need you, or blah, 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 is gutting. Then you hear like 2 weeks later that same company is advertising for another apprentice. But no, you're just abusing. Yep, it is all man-made and it is all made by greed. That is the thing. That is the main problem in this world, greed. Well, greed and religion, but mostly greed. I mean, it's how the rich people get rich is by not spending money. Um, and it's how the poor people stay poor because we have to spend money. You know, it's. And then I know people who are managers, and I go, oh, it's so hard, such a. You sit behind a bloody desk all day, tapping away on a computer, chatting on the phone. It aren't really that difficult because you've got all the facts in front of you. Yeah, I fully understand, Bob. I'm the same. It's no, it's why I'm looking more at a sit down type job because my body's broken. There are bits of it that it's just worn out. You know, it's there's only so much physical work you can do before your body starts giving out on you, and you then got to change. Um, yeah, that's also a very good point, Jessica. When the childcare costs are more than you earn, it's a problem. It's like I could put my child in care, not in care as in foster care, but put my child in a playgroup or something with a childminder and go to work, but I earn less than I've got to pay for the care. How the hell does that work? I mean, I understand, no, because Mary works in a playgroup, so I'm not going to slate the system that much. But, you know, you've got to pay the childminder or the professional. It's, you know, they've got to get a living wage as well, even if it's minimum wage, which I don't think it should be. You know, you shouldn't scrimp on what you pay the people that look after your children. Um, you know, there should be government backing for that. I mean, they get backing for a certain amount of hours a week, but if you're working full time, you need your child to be in care 40 hours a week. And it's, you know, oh, yeah, I'll say it's one of those things, Bob, where if you do the same, you know, do the same thing for too long and your body decides it's had enough of it, it's, yeah, the whole system's broken, let's be honest. Oh, dear D. Uh, yeah. I don't know why they bother with Top Chat. I mean, they can do things for channels that have got over a certain amount of subscribers. Why can't they do it for channels that are under a certain amount of subscribers? Now, it's saying Top Chat only comes in if you've got over 100 people watching. You know, otherwise everyone can keep up. James is why we have a single income house. We spend more on childcare and shit. Yeah, exactly. When the childcare costs more than you earn, and you can't blame the childcare people because obviously, you know, it's one, you know, they've got to earn a wage. It costs money to run the place, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, fair enough. It costs what it costs, but that's something that governments should be, or local councils or whatever, they should be footing the costs of. Not necessarily all of it, but they should be making it financially viable for someone to actually go to work rather than stay at home. Um, yeah, Jessica. I mean, it's. I know Mary's little charges are between 2 and 4, I think. Um, that was preschool, kindergarten. Um, and the kids love it. They learn so much, and it's great. Yeah, I think it's something like that here as well. 20 hours. you know, what jobs are you going to get that are 20 hours a week? I mean, it's part-time. It's probably going to be shop work, which is going to be minimum wage. And are your hours going to be at the right time to be able to get, it's just all broken. Yeah, college, university should still be free, shouldn't be charging for education. Yeah, and you can't live on 20 hours a week. So it's all a 0 hour contract is a way to reduce the unemployment figures. Is that, oh yeah, all these people are in work. No, they're not. Exactly. For the skilled employees, Bob. So you mean management and the people who earn enough to be able to pay for it anyway, they get it for nothing. Whereas the people who can't afford to pay for it have to pay for it. But yeah, this is a deep rabbit hole we could go on. And yet the rich are getting richer. Not a lot we can do about it. Well, I mean, there is, but individually, like 22 of us having a whinge online, not really going to achieve anything, but good to get these things out, get it off your chest. So, shall we see if we can switch to something more upbeat as a topic? Right, trying to make a change from fish and shrimp. No, fair enough. If we want to carry on slating the government system in the Western world, basically, just needs taking down and starting again. And as I've always said, anyone who wants to be in politics, they go through school, college, university, they study politics, they want to be a politician. They shouldn't be allowed to be a politician. Yeah, I know, people need to vent. Feel free to vent. I vent regularly. Normally out of an orifice, but Jess, Sharpie, I was in the models and the aquatics. What's the deal with Sharpies? It's my name. My name is John Sharp. So my nickname at school was Sharpie. And yeah, it's kind of stuck. People call me Sharpie. So it's Sharpie's models and aquatics. Originally it was Sharpie's models. Then I added the aquatics, and I'm thinking about maybe adding a third thing, but we'll see how that goes. I think what it's going to take for there to be a big. No, that is the annoying thing. Is my name's been about longer than the pens have been famous. Let's put it that way. Yes. It's no. One of those things where Sharpie's models was just what I went with when I started, because people call me that. Am I going to Vivarium? Nah, nope. I'm certainly not going to Vivarium. Yeah, I know I got the grammatical error in there, Mandy. That was more a case of laziness on my part. It's yeah. Animals are easier to cope with than people most of the time. They're honest. Yeah, yes, Bob. I've definitely had my run-ins with sharp things. Things. Well, yes, you do, Mandy. At least the ones you're awake for, anyway. Eels, yeah. Zach fur gets everywhere. Yeah, long white fluff all over me. He's decided it's time to molt. So that probably means it's going to snow soon. And the door is open, so he might be in and out. Is it common to poop in the water bowl? Well, if they're anything like any other animals I've ever kept, then going to the toilet in the water is fairly guaranteed. Rat used to, mice did, hamster did. I've never kept any reptiles. Don't plan on either. And I really should have got some video of the one in these Swallow Aquatics, because they had a 6-foot monitor lizard in there. They've got caiman, turtles, tortoises, birds, all sorts of frogs, spiders, snakes, centipedes, marmosets, well, they're mandarins, some kind of small monkey type thing. Yeah, there's all sorts in that place. And then obviously fish. Plenty of marine, which always, I'll say the marine tanks are always spotless and look amazing. And then the freshwater tanks, which you'd assume would be the bulk of their sales, not so much. Good evening, Alex Breeding Fish. Yes. So it's one of those places though where I could probably do a video in, but it keeps, it's one of those places where, because it's free to go in because it's a shop, people treat it like a trip to a zoo. So people go in there for a walk around, and it's always crowded. So being able to actually film in there would be a nightmare. And it's pretty dark as well in most areas. Welcome aboard, Asbo. Aaron, haven't seen you for a while. How you doing, buddy? There wasn't a Friday stream this week. There were issues with Jitsi, the hosting service that Paul uses, something along those lines. So we just had an off-air live hangout, as it were. Building stuff is always cool. Unless it's a German tank, then it sucks butt really badly. Says the guy currently building a German tank. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do that on the bus on Monday and Wednesday, Dan. I'm going to find a seat, and then I'm going to sit there and cough randomly. Just keep people away from me. See, there you go, Kenny. Portland. That is somewhere I would love to visit. Filmed in the Portland area. It looks an absolutely gorgeous place anyway. Kind of looks my kind of place. Not too busy or crowded. Nice countryside on the doorstep. At least that's the impression I get. But then I'll say a lot of that comes from watching things like Grimm, which are probably filmed in Canada rather than Portland. Wanted to live stream in a new local fish store, so it dog me into anything. Yeah. Oh, nudie bars. Oh, that's always a bonus. Yeah. To be fair, I tend not to go in them kind of things, as they just sat in the woods by a stream. As per okay, so we're getting Mojo back, putting on DPRK and the Maz. Messed up sleeping pattern again. Oh yeah, we all had messed up sleeping patterns. That's yeah. But yeah, I'm good-ish, good as I get anyway. Oh, pardon me again. So I'm good apart from the wind. Let's put it that way. Sounds a bit like my town then, Ken. No, we don't have the homeless problem here. Just small towns. So the city, like 20 mile up the road, is where the homeless problem is. But yeah, it's getting crazier and crazier around here. Good evening, Marriott. How the devil are you? Been a while. So yeah, I'm guessing then Kenny Grimm was probably shot in Canada rather than Portland itself. A lot of things are actually. Rent prices have gone crazy. Well, if you got, as I say, as Ken says, you got 135 people a day moving in, then all that does is drive the prices up. Keep getting buffering. I'll say the weather's fine up here, but I've seen there's some rain and nastiness about in different parts of the country. Oh yeah, the skink stink. Yeah, I can imagine. You got it breaking down in the water, then it evaporates with the heat pad and the light, and just wafts around the house beautifully. I can imagine. Oh no, Marriott, what are you in quarantine for? You're not all coroned up, are you? Or are you just staying away from people? Wobblies. Yes. I think that might be another one that we've got some wild in the UK, wallabies, or wobblies as I call them. Again, one of those, they escaped from somewhere and job done. Are you a Virgin Password Network? I'm with BT, Aaron, not Virgin. My thinking being the people who are in charge of it all, the people who, back when it all was just BT and on phone lines, then yeah. So plus the fewer bills I have going out at the end of the month, the better. Oh no, hopefully you're not married. Hopefully you just got some random gunk going on rather than anything particularly nasty. But get well soon, my dear. Alice, you just want to spend a couple of weeks just sleeping. That's yeah, Loch Lomond. Yeah, I'll say it's one of those things where they keep them in zoos or whatever, or in private collections because they're easy to look after and they're quite friendly once they're tame. They're not a dangerous thing, and then they either escape or people just let them go. And Yeah. New Zealand and the UK, the climate isn't hugely different, and they're furry, so yeah. Oh god, yeah. Hopefully, it's not what you're quarantined for, Narrett, and hopefully it all goes away and everyone's well. So he's scared to go back to work with coughing, snotty nosed kiddies. Yeah, the thing is, Teresa, you're surrounded by coughing, snotty nosed little kiddies every day. You're probably immune to virtually everything by now. It's one of those things where I guarantee if I went to work with Mary for a day, I would probably basically die. I would probably get about 8 different colds, 4 different other illnesses and diseases. Whereas she goes there every day and might get the occasional sniffle or slight cold. Yeah, it's quarantine. I needed stuff, I'd go out and get it. Yeah, they'll self-regulate how many there are anyway, won't they, Dan? Oh, Rose back again. I think it's one of those things, though, anyone who works either in retail for a long time or works with children for a long time does develop an immunity to most things. Aaron went to the doctor's last week due to bad joints. We're on the subject. Thinks it's man-made due to the behaviour and the way it gets. Oh, it's definitely man-made. It came from a lab, I think is what they're saying. Yeah. Wallaby. We got all sorts of random weirdness running around in the UK these days. Thankfully, nothing. Well, I say nothing too dangerous. I mean, we do have panthers. Yeah, when it all comes down to it, it's just a flu. Exactly, Marrett. But yeah, get well soon, because I mean I've had flu and it's not pleasant. Oh, Bob's got baby rice fish! Yay! Pam's a granny. Granny Pam. Granny Pammy. What do you reckon? Granny, grandmother, grandmama, Nana. Don't believe. I believe the Panthers. There is video. There is a lot of proof of them. Let's put it this way: there are no native UK species that will kill things like large deer and cows. But people are finding large deer and cows that have been killed by animals. Yeah, 2 and 2 together. There's not many. It has to be enough for a breeding population because they've been around for 30 odd years, maybe 40 years at this point, and they don't live that long. So they're babies, they're having babies, but you know. We need more dangerous native animals again. That we do. Yeah, lynx getting released. I mean, I'll say I didn't know about the lynx, but I did know got the wolves up in Scotland. They're still penned in, I think. No, people don't hunt with dogs in the UK, Alex. That's illegal now. Yes, we do have the Maine Coon cats and things like that. What's the other one? Can't remember what the other one's called. There's another one similar size, but no, I say not many, and they don't get spotted very often. We do have foxes, yes. They pretty much only eat things like mice, voles, rats, maybe. Foxes will eat earthworms. Yeah, it's yeah. Well, the fox hunting is illegal. I think most hunting is now. And what? Yeah, posh folk. Yes. Quite why anyone feels the need to, I, I don't get it. Oh, yeah, the hippos in South America. Yeah, I saw that, Cheery. That is just hilarious. I think it was an episode of not Top Gear, whatever they call it, the Grand Tour, and they had to go to, was it Bolivia? Yeah, it was Bolivia, I think, or Colombia. One of them they were going around. They'd been given a list of animals they had to spot, and the hippo was on the list. And yeah, they yes, they found that yes, the hippo is now an invasive species in South America. Yeah, it's safe. Fox hunting with dogs is illegal. I think what they should have done is just get one of the toffs to dress up like a fox and then chase them through the countryside. Not with dogs, but with shotguns. Yeah. Well, hippos are the most dangerous creature in Africa, aren't they? Responsible for more deaths than any of the others, not including mosquitoes, obviously. And hippos look so lovely until they open their mouth and you go, oh crap. Their mouth opens at 180 degrees and their teeth are about a foot long. They go, oh, you look so cute. Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's not much that is cuter than a baby hippo. They're gorgeous little things. Although one species I wouldn't mind if it got released in the UK would be the tapir. They're cool. They're a relative of the elephant, I believe. So they've got the prehensile nose, but they're friendly and super cute. They're pretty much like a South American version of a pig. Ooh, pardon me again. I wouldn't lose a hand. Oh, yeah. Have a good day, Danny. Ken, sorry. Yeah, I'm doing getting confused with which is which. Yeah, oh, cute. And then Mum turns up and you run in zigzags. They can't turn very well. Itchy ear. That's the thing. They'll go, just run away. It's like, have you seen how fast something like a hippo can run? Your best bet is to just try and dodge. And don't come between the hippo and the river. That is the other thing I've learned. You know, rabbits with dogs still work. Fox, deer, and hare. Yeah, it's find a big rock, hide behind it. Yep. Yeah, I don't know why people would hunt rabbits with dogs. They're easy enough to just shoot with an air rifle. Yeah, it's really not that difficult to hunt rabbits. But so it's one of those things that every so often you'll see a video come across the Facebook or Messenger where some dumb person has decided to climb into one of the enclosures with either lions or bears or crocodiles. Why the hell would you do realise that thing's going to eat you, right? It can kill you with its face. Or in the case of some of them, like the bigger bears, they can just smack you and going to smash you in half. Climb on the rock and they can't climb. Yeah, good idea, Marek. Or climb up a tree, or just go everywhere with a fat friend with asthma. You can outrun them. You don't have to outrun your animal, just outrun your friend. That is the trick. I forget who first said that about, I think it was about polar bears. Because you don't need to outrun the polar bear, you just need to outrun the people you're with. I'll take the gun to high school and kill you in the face. Oh dear, Bob. Yeah. We're loads of white boys. Only work when they're hungry. Oh, Dan. I don't know if that game was popular in the States, but am I near Cornwall? I'm pretty much the exact opposite side of the country. East to west, I'm about as far away from Cornwall as I can get. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Fish stocks are diminishing. Whether we're talking about fresh or salt water is because all of the waters around here are massively, and freshwater wise, it's because people keep re-releasing otters into the wild. Yeah, salt water like the North Sea cod and all that. Yeah, that's been an issue for decades now, Chewy. They trawl because the North Sea and most of the seas around the UK are relatively shallow, so they can trawl them quite easily, and they just hoover everything up. Then the thing they have a quota, catch this much of this, so they get their £1,000 a cod. Everything that isn't £1,000 a cod just gets chucked back overboard dead. Now, when all these other things they could sell, because it's not part of their quota, they can't have it. I'm lucky at where I live. There's quite a lot of deer around here, and obviously farmland. So I mean, not Sainsbury's, the supermarket I used to work at, the place before that, the brush factory, had backed onto the train tracks with a patch of rough ground that then connected to the local woods, Harbon Woods. So we had a resident family of muntjac deer, and they weren't tame, but they didn't freak out the second they saw you. So you could just stand there and watch them, or if you stayed on the forklift and drove over, they ignored you totally. I've been fishing and had, is it the roe deer? One day, yeah, the roe deer is the middle-sized one. I've had roe deer trotting alongside me when I've been cycling along the road, and yeah, all sorts. But yeah, so they find places to live wherever they can, and that was probably not more than 1/4 of an acre of just rough scrub land, and we had a pair of adults and then their children every year. Yeah, it's getting worse. So global warming, yeah, climate change is doing everything. I used to be some military training in World War II. Yeah, there's a lot of training grounds like that around. Yeah, we've got the Chinese water deer. Is it the Seeker? Seeker, the Chinese water deer? Something like that. Yeah, well, if you've got the Royal Tank Regiment up there, then yeah, the police ain't going to bother going up there. The squaddies will look after things themselves. Got the military police roaming around. But yeah, we must be able to catch more fish more quickly. Well, congratulations, you're catching more fish more quickly, but you're increasing the bycatch, which you don't want, which you're just going to kill. So yeah, it's just I mean, the North Sea is just screwed, basically, unless people stop fishing it for a couple of decades and then don't trawl it anymore. You even notice it if you're fishing from the shore that you don't catch what you used to catch. And that is then having a knock-on effect with everything else, because the sand eel is food for everything else. It's just don't go near the bunker with CCTV. Yeah, it's usually, if you're smoking bud, it's normally a good idea to stay away from cameras. So a bit distracted because Ginger's finally decided she's going to come out and have a swim around with the light on. Hello, gorgeous. Oh no, she's seen me. She's hiding again now. Good my end, Ro. It's not showing anything iffy my end, so I don't know. Well then, I'm about as technologically savvy as a brick. Yeah. And it might be my end. I haven't got anything else that's using the internet at the moment, so shouldn't be. Let's put it down to atmospherics as yeah, it's definitely peeing down with rain here now as well, so could well be the weather affecting things. Bit right, pass. And normally if there's something wrong, it flashes up at the top of the screen here, says low bit rate or whatever, or frames being dropped or connection bad or something like that. It's not flashing anything up, so I'm assuming everything's going okay. Yeah, but Chewy, that's analog. I can do analog. Digital I struggle with. Analog, you can fix it if it goes wrong. You just pull it apart, find out which bit broke and replace it. Digital is not quite so straightforward. I know it's just ones and zeros rather than anything else, but I need to make things bigger so you can actually fix things rather than, oh, this is wrong. I'll replace this entire part, this entire board. Well, no, it's just one resistor or transistor that's died. Yeah, maybe my connection is duff. I don't know. It's I don't know. I shall carry on grinding through it. Yeah, more electronics and small components, solid state crap. Exactly. Give me resistors, transistors, capacitors, the occasional chip, which you can just prise out of the little mounting block with a screwdriver and plug a new one in. It could be YouTube, could be my internet, could be anyone else's internet, could be a server down. Should at some point in, I don't know when, but they are actually putting fiber in down the road. I bumped into a guy the other day who was checking that everything was where it should be. So when they lay the fiber cables, it goes straight in. So with a bit of luck, my speed might go up a bit. So, well, considering I'm paying for five, but I'm still on the old copper cables. It's trained ear can definitely tell the difference between analog and digital. One sounds good, the other one doesn't. That's the easy way to tell. One has soul and the other one doesn't. What's wrong with that, Mandy, is if one of those minute components goes wrong, you can't fix it. You've got to replace the whole thing. You can't break your multimeter out and go, Right, so resistance across those 2 points. Righty ho. So that component is dead. Unsolder it. Pop the broken component out. Pop it back in, and it all works again. Yeah, I know it's not the quickest, but it works. And yes, digital music destroyed rock and roll. Exactly. I thoroughly agree with Mr. Beato there. Which when I first read it, I got it wrong. I thought it was Rick Beato, but there you go. Yes, I do watch him quite a bit, Chewy. It's very interesting stuff to learn. I mean, I'm no musical genius, but I know music. I know how these things work and scales and stuff. But to actually, I know it from doing it rather than knowing it from learning it. So to actually learn the theory behind why certain things work and certain things don't, I do find interesting. And what makes this song great, hearing things broken down like that, it's just great. 8 terabytes in my PC, SSDs and NVMe. Well, you say enough games keep you going if the internet goes down. How many of those games can you actually play without an internet connection? That's the problem these days. Exactly. Yeah, that's it, Chew. It's you can learn the theory first, or you can learn how to do it first, or whatever. But once you've got the two, you can then work pants. Can't beat a valve amp. I wish I had one. I don't. I was got an old Fender somewhere. I can't even remember what type. It's not. What is it? It's an old 20-watt Fender all in one unit. Use GOG mainly, cracked versions of things. Yeah. I think the last game I played on a PC was Dawn of War 2. No, not even Dawn of War 2. Would have been Dawn of War Winter Assault when that first came out. And anything since then has all been on console. Oh yeah, it's a lot easier to master in digital. It just doesn't sound so good. It's and the whole click track thing as well, where not click track, but it's more they record it and then they move things around so it matches perfectly on where the beat should be, rather than slightly behind the beat or slightly ahead of the beat, which some musicians do on purpose to put more feel into the music, more soul or funk or whatever you want to call it, more emotional. But if it's all completely on the grid, it just kills the feeling. I mean, it's just no. But yes, you were asking earlier what I've been listening to this week. Chewy, it has mostly been Dinosaur, one being an American garage rock band and the other being a Swedish industrial metal band. And yes, yeah, hearing John Bonham's kick drum pedal, yeah. The thing is, if you take things, I mean, Nine Inch Nails' Downward Spiral is one that stands out particularly. You can listen to that so many times and hear new things every time. I'm on my 3rd copy of the CD because I've killed 2 of them over the decades. And yeah, that album is just sheer work of art, even if you don't like the musical style or what it's about. subject matter. I mean, if you could break that album down into every single sound, every single track, as it were, not like song, but the tracks in the song, so you could hear all the different things, that would be fairly mind-blowing. And the fact that it was recorded in the same building of the house known as the Sharon Tate house, where the Manson family did all their nasty murdering, adds a certain feel to the record. Almost bought an Alienware laptop with Cyberpunk on it. Yes, so Heartbreaker Solo being out of key. Yeah. What's going to these present neurons? Yes. Hey Dan, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Yeah. Chewy saw Led Zeppelin, Seattle. There were plenty of bands in Seattle in the early 90s that I would have liked to have seen, but yeah, in Seattle. I did see them in the UK, but actually seeing a band in their hometown is always better than out on tour, because they're just more comfortable. And it's normally the end of the tour, so they've got everything nailed and down pat by then. Oh, I bet I've seen some bands that Chewy hasn't seen. Oh yeah, we're an hour and a half. Oh, well, Cradle of Filth. Well, the crowd looked like zombies, but great band to see live. Yeah, you got to be into the music, and I won't say the lifestyle, but you got to be able to know what Danny's singing about for it to really make sense. There's a lot more depth to those lyrics than there is to a lot of music. Yeah, we've got double Dans, we've got double Ds. Oh, it's epic live. You hear it on record and see it on video, but to actually hear Danny making those noises live and then not hacking his lungs up halfway through the song. Yes, I have just gone through a half-litre can of Red Bull and now I'm needing Coke as well. Right, back in a mo, it's the usual drain the vein, wrestle the alligator moment. So talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Ooh, that's better. While I'm here, I'll shut the back door. Shut the back door. Ah, yes, Queensryche, I remember. Have I seen Queensryche? I haven't. Oh. Yeah, I did just get up and leave, Alice, so I figured you'd rather I didn't just sit here and pee on the floor. I think virtually everyone's a mod, so, you know, fair enough. Yes. Comedy Gold. Yeah, so Father Fish may well have forgotten to change the time on his clocks. So if he decides, or if he is going live, it'll be another 50 minutes. And no, I'll quite happily waffle on a bit longer. Yep. Go get some grub down your gullet, Dan. I'm gonna have to at some point. Oh, and I can always just pee out the back door, but you know. Yeah. I just realised how cold it was getting, Aaron. That's the difference. I went upstairs and thought, hang on, my feet have suddenly warmed up. Maybe there's cold draft coming in that back door now. But admittedly, while the door was open, when I opened the door, it was bright and sunny and dry out there. And now it's dark and piddling down with rain, so you know it's going to be a bit chillier. Piddling down with rain just in time for me to have to go get the bus up to Norwich tomorrow and get sopping wet again. Oh dear, that's not very nice, Alice. Maybe something happening. You know, it's one of those things. I never blame anyone for not coming and see my stream, or if someone misses a stream, or they don't put a video up on a certain day, or blah blah blah. Because life happens, you know. So the majority of YouTubers, YouTube is a hobby. Obviously, there's the small percentage that it is their main source of income, their living. But you know, most of us do it because we enjoy it. It's a way of communicating with like-minded people. Well, maybe not like-minded, that might be a bit too far. People who do the same hobbies, have the same interests. Oh, pardon me. And Alice, don't tell me to lick it. What would you like me to lick, Alice? Where's Rose? She might know. Yeah. Yep, you're a poet and you don't know it. Unfortunately, Bob, your grandfather don't seem to be anymore. There were a total of 2 of them, and I've not seen them now for 2 days. So whether they got eaten or died from some other reason, but I've not seen them for 2 days in there. So unfortunately, you're no longer an Episto grandpa in the UK. I could make a couple of teeny tiny little gravestones for them if you wanted. But no. it's one of those things where you kind of expect, especially at the first spawn, you wouldn't really. I wouldn't really expect any survivors generally, especially when there's only two fry that come out of the spawn. I think most of us realise that sometimes it can take fish a few times till they get it right, but it is a good start anyway. At least it shows that Robert and Roberta are in love. They like each other. Well, at least are genetically compatible with each other. So there are 4 Ember Tetras in there with them. Roberta did a good job of chasing them off. Whether the Ember Tetras may have munched the fry, I think it's probably more likely that Robert or Roberta, well, probably more like Robert did it than Roberta because she was looking after them. So it's probably more likely that Dad ate the babies. I was thinking keeping some ants and then release a massive colony of them. There might be a reason why you've not got ants there. There might be something around there that actually does eat them. Although the easiest way to find out if there's ants anywhere is to just leave a pile of sugar somewhere. It generally just attracts everything. Last thing I need around here is more ants. I generally end up with a couple of nests down by the front door and a couple of nests down by the back door. So the ant powder has to go down. Normally around late April, early May. And hopefully try and keep the numbers down, or at least keep them out of the house. That's the most important part. A massive amount of slugs. Eesh. I mean, there aren't many animals I don't like, but slugs are one of them. I don't think anyone can say they're a fan of slugs or that they love them. They're just nasty. Yeah. At least snails have pretty shells, and if you need to move them, you can pick them up by the shell. And slugs, no matter where you pick them up, they're just nasty, horrible. Just pour a bit of salt on them. That'll soon sort them out. Yeah, that's it. That's it, Aaron. Mix the sugar pile up with some salt. That'll do for them. Hey, it's like you're slipping on and going, oh, Jesus. Oh, man. Congratulations on finding a dumb injury I've not done to myself yet. I think we can safely guarantee I will now. But yeah, even I've not managed to injure myself stepping on a slug. That may be because I've injured myself that often. I look where I'm putting my feet these days, but you know. And I tend not to get too many slugs in my garden because I have lots of frogs, which are making lots of brr, brr, brr noises in the pond at the moment. And there's a lot of piggybacking going on, so there's going to be even more frogs. Animated movie, heavy metal. So Ronnie James Dio. Yeah, trying to remember that movie. There's a long and blurry history, my movie watching history. I generally avoid animated ones if I can. The last animated movie I watched would probably be the Simpsons movie. So if you've got a slug problem, get a pond, and then the frogs will come to the pond, and the frogs will eat the slugs. And then you just end up with frogs coming in your door. Welcome back, Nathan. Got your backy sorted out? I'll remember to go out this morning and get another pack. Most painful injury, broken ribs. Yeah, broken ribs are an arse. I've been there, done that many a time. And yeah, I've done the whole trapped nerves as well. That's not fun either. Most painful one I've had, or most painful experiences, is a toss-up. It's either the time I injured myself playing football, or the time I had a really, really bad bout of irritable bowel syndrome. Let's put it this way: the stomach cramps were that bad at like 2 in the morning. I was considering calling an ambulance. But the football one, I had, what did I do? Compound fracture of my ankle and I snapped my Achilles tendon. You can't. There's no relief from broken ribs. They're just going to hurt, and you can guarantee you'll get a cough as well. Well, that's my experience anyway. If I'm going to break some ribs, I'm going to get a cough afterwards. You can guarantee it. I think it's about 8 ribs I've broken now. I can't remember. But the bottom one on this side never actually healed back together. So it kind of, it's not really attached. Just the muscles holding it in place. The intercostals. So 2 pieces of bone. The ends of the bone healed over, but the bone never knitted back together again. So yeah, can lead to pneumonia, collapsed lungs, all sorts. Yeah, broken coccyx, that's not a good one either. It's really not an issue. There's certain things that are just annoying as hell. And it's painful. Same with ribs. And I've broken my feet before, and that's not really an issue. I've broken fingers. Yeah, big thumbs up, thanks, Big J. Big thumbs up from Big J. There we go. How are the monsters doing, Jay, in the pond? It's not bragging, Alice. It's just you get used to certain levels of pain. And you're just like, oh well, done it again. I mean, like that's been broken like 5 or 6 times. Now when you forget how often you've broken your nose, it's not a good thing. It's also not a good thing when you can't remember how many times you've been concussed. How you got up with Chris? Jay, did you get up with Chris? You're obviously not annoyed enough people then, Nathan. So I've been punched in the face, kicked in the face, punched myself in the face accidentally, walked into something. What was the other one? Yeah, the other one was a plank of wood in the face. I think to go out to break my nose. There's only one bone I broke on purpose, and that was that finger. And I was drunk at the time, so that's allowed. Ooh, pardon me. Oh dear, there we go. I'm going to belch again in a minute, probably. Aaron's got a fragment of bone nose that moves. I won't operate because it doesn't affect your breathing. Yeah, I've got a bone fragment in the back of this hand, somewhere around where that scar is actually, which is actually from that knuckle, and it's moved. Every so often it kind of pops back out and digs against the tendon, so I just pop it back out of the way again. Oh dear, Nathan, how did you break your arm? Hopefully it was nothing too nasty. I'll say that's the thing is I've not actually physically broken my long bones. I've not done tib, fib, femur, or humerus and ulnar. I've done most other bones at some point or other. I haven't done my pelvis. I don't think it's possible. Shoulders, because they're just nadgered anyway. So, oh no, ATV crash. You did an Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, it's a. Yeah, I would say rather you, but rather someone none of us like. Hips will be broken when I'm old. Yep, that'll be it. I'm just saving those for when I'm an old fart and I can fall over and break a hip. Thanks, Aaron. Yeah. Although I'll probably be like confined to a bed or something because everything on an iron lung and what have you, because nothing's working anymore. That's if I make it that long. Who knows? What do I think about tilapia? Human consumption farms. Regulation. I've not looked into it, Chewy. I don't know. Breeding tilapia for human food, I don't see a problem with that. But if you say as the if the biosecurity is not right, then certain things you don't want escaping into the wild, as it were, or things you got to be careful with. Hi Lynn, how are you? Nice to see you. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the way most of us manage to break our tailbone or coccyx, is by falling over and landing on your butt heavy. Aaron's now had 2 hip replacements due to breaks. Every time she goes through a metal detector, she sets them off. Yeah, it's. I used to do that with the piercings. I used to go into a shop and set all the alarms off. A lot of regulations to raise human consumption fish in aquaponics. It's not something I've really looked into that deeply, Chewy. Because I generally don't eat fish. It's not because I keep fish and therefore I don't want to eat them. It's nothing like that. It's more, it's just usually bloody expensive for what you get. So, and with no sense of smell and therefore very little sense of taste, most fish pretty much just doesn't taste of anything to me. So, yeah. Stepped in a storm drain, broke foot, and walked 4.5 miles afterwards. Yeah, been there, done that. I broke both my feet and had been at work for 2 weeks before they said, no, we're taking you to the hospital to see what's wrong with your feet. Turned out I'd broken them both. Yeah, that's it. Oz does have plenty of other fish that they can breed to thing. Yeah, it's. I mean, Japan, fish is a massive part of their diet. And you would have thought, being an island, also the UK, it would be a massive part of the diet. But due to the unique way in which we've knackered our seas, then there's not that much of it left, and the price goes up, and then you can't really afford to buy it. And generally, the only thing I'll buy is fish fingers usually, and that's just yes. A lot of these fish, especially in pet food, are just generic fish. There's no, it is this kind of tuna, or it is cod, or pouting, or whiting, or whatever, haddock, or any of the other various fish that live in the North Sea that all look and taste the same. Mainly because they're all bottom feeders, so if they all eat the same thing, they generally taste the same. But yeah, it's that is a problem. It's they catch too many. It's not that they catch too many; it's they catch the wrong thing. Because I mean, I have a friend, or had a friend, that will eat cod, but won't eat like bassa or pouting or codling or any of the other whitefish, because it's not cod. I eat cod. I don't want that other rubbish. So you get more people like that. Just catching that one specific fish is damn near impossible. Especially when you're just trawling for it, you catch everything, and then half of what you catch you throw back, and it dies. Yeah, that trawler from the Netherlands. Yep, the biggest trawler in the world. Yeah, cod may well be delicious, but to me, it's a white fish, and they all taste the same to me. So, do I care if my fish fingers are made from the finest, flakiest cod, or from the cheapest, nastiest, random whitefish that we caught that no one else wants to eat? So we're going to turn it into something that it doesn't really look like fish, but not really. All tastes the same once it's been fried and then covered in ketchup and a bit of bread with some butter. Yeah, I'd try and avoid shellfish as well, Aaron, unless they're like pickled or something. Or I know they're very fresh. Like, you can go some places around here up on the coast. You can still go and buy a pound of cockles or half pound of cockles, and just sit there and pick them out the shells. Pick them out the shells, eat them. They're fresh. You're not going to get ill off of them. But other shellfish, I mean, I've had food poisoning from off prawns before, and it's one of those things that you don't want to get again. Oh yeah, scallops. Again, I've had scallops, whichever way you want to pronounce it. To me, I speak just personally because I can't say what you taste or anyone else tastes or smells. But to me, they just don't really taste much. They're just a random shellfishy taste. So, why spend that much on a scallop when you can spend quarter the price on something else that to me tastes the same? Yep, the Mississippi. Yep, with catfish. Crab. Yeah, crab's nice. I do like a bit of crab. Don't like catching crabs, but don't mind eating it. either a nice dressed one or an even tinned. But again, where I live, not far from Cromer, from the famous Cromer crabs, and Cromer crab is lovely. Lobster's nice as well, but again, cost. Or scampi, as we call it, but which is langoustine or squat lobster. They're nice, but again, expensive. And what man don't love a bit of clam chewy? Aquaponics, tilapia. Oh yeah, dogfish, or what do they call it in here? In the UK, yeah, they call it. They just call it rock, or they call it a rock eel. Because people will buy that, but they won't buy dogfish, even though everyone knows that's what it is. They've tried. They put it on the menu as dogfish, and no one buys it. Put it up as rock eel, and people buy it. It's just... raw oysters. Oh, that's right up there with raw eggs. Again, it's one of those things with a really delicate flavour, which, I don't do delicate flavours because I can't taste them, basically. I think it was, I forget where I read it, heard it. I think it was actually a doctor told me, a specialist in these matters. Ear, nose and throat surgeon, I think it was. And I have 30% of the sense of taste that a normal person has because I don't have a sense of smell. But because I smoke as well, he says, yeah, that reduces it even further. He says, I'm surprised you can taste anything. But yeah, raw oysters, I think it's based in texture. Invasion. It's not invasive shrimp. It's the American signal crayfish that is killing off our native crayfish at an alarming rate. It's not that the crayfish itself is killing them. It carries a virus or disease of some description that it's immune to, but that kills off other kinds of crayfish. So yes, it's one of those things that, yes, it's an invasive species. It shouldn't be here, and it's wiping out our native crayfish. But it just means that the things that eat crayfish get a bigger meal, basically, because it's a little bit bigger than the native. But other than that, it's not like the Japanese mitten crabs that we've got in some rivers in the estuaries, because they burrow into the banks and then the banks erode and collapse and that kind of thing goes on. I think they're in the Thames as well, obviously Thames being tidal. They're an issue, but they're going to have to, they're not something you can just catch and remove because they live in deep burrows. Again, like everywhere else in the world that's got those, they just came in the bilges of ships. And yeah, not really a lot you can do about that. Behave. No. Stop trying to eat each other. Right, it's the cichlids, butterfly cichlids playing silly buggers at the moment. Yeah, invasive Australian crayfish. Yes, it's. I'll say there are invasive species that do harm, and there are invasive species that just chill out and get on fine, and there are ones that basically just replace the original version. I think that's what the signal crayfish will do in the UK. Same with the grey and the red squirrel. The grey squirrel is common. There's one that visits my garden. Um, yes, they've killed off a lot of the red squirrels. The red squirrels are now only found basically in the northern areas of Scotland and a couple of tiny little places other places. But squirrel's a squirrel. No, okay, they're a different colour and they're slightly larger and blah blah, and they're not as pretty, but they do the same job in the ecosystem. They don't eat a different food source. They don't do something else. If anything, all they do is give what eats them a bigger meal for the same effort, as it were. Grey, red, and black squirrels in the States. Yep, I'm saying it's the greys that are the problem because they're the ones that got released over here. And yeah, bigger and more aggressive than our native red squirrels, squirrel nutkins. And they've gradually been killing them off and driving them further and further north. But these things happen. Anyways, it's been nearly 2.25 hours. Blooming heck, that's gone quick. Well, it's because I started early. Yeah, I started half hour early, didn't I? So, unless anyone's got any questions they want to ask, I'll roll a ciggy while we're doing that. See if anyone got any random questionage, either about models or fishes or anything else I may do. If there aren't, then I shall call it a day as I think all I've had to eat today is one slice of chocolate cake. When I say slice, I mean a quarter of the cake, but basically my stomach's rumbling. I need to eat. I need to eat before I starve because I'm not fat and got a load of reserves or anything, It's it will be interesting to know though, all the invasive species, how many have been introduced either by people releasing things as pets or where that have survived and become a problem. How many were released by governments to try and fix a problem, and how many are just random from people moving around the planet? Anyway, yep. Eat Snickers. It's going to take more than Snickers, Michael. I foresee Cornish pasties. Anyway, yep. Thanks, Asper. Yeah, like the alligators and the seals. Yeah, those kind of things. So, thanks everyone for turning up again. Again, I apologise for about not screw up, but for not knowing about the time differences. I will be going at my normal time next week. For the next couple of weeks until our clocks change. That will mean a gap in the stream, but then someone else can fill that if they want. Fish farms, like biosecurity. Yeah, I mean, that's just something that government should do something about. It's that simple. But obviously, American government works completely differently to UK governments. So there we go. Anyway, invasive walking catfish after a hurricane. Oh dear. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Tuning in, making names, having a chat, conversing, having fun, hopefully. Peace out. Have a good week. Rock on. Bye-bye. When the computer decides it's going to go bye-bye. There we go.